Having trouble finding something to read? Not sure what you're looking for? Well, I have 5 books to share with you that might just fit the bill. If facts are what interest you, here are 3 nonfiction books to consider. Our first book focuses on the natural world and creatures that make you say, "What was that?" Unusual Creatures, a mostly accurate account of some of Earth's strangest animals by Michael Hurst, is an illustrated nonfiction book that explores the world of weird animals. This book is great for readers in grades 2 through 8. In this book, Unusual Creatures are animals that look, sound, smell, or act in a way that makes you stop and say, "Whoa dude, what's up with that?" Ever wonder which animal can be found at the top of Mount Everest, 10,000 feet under the sea, and in your backyard? Did you know there's an animal that poops cubes? Every page features unusual creatures, factual information about them, as well as interesting tidbits, quizzes, and even news-related stories that may involve the creature. Perhaps you are looking for something a little less exotic. Here are 2 books that feature historic people, places, and events. Fairies are real! That's what folks exclaimed when Elsie and Frances showed photographs that they had taken featuring fairies. Mary Lozier explores the sensation that Elsie and Frances created in her book, The Fairy Ring, or Elsie and Frances Fool the World, a good read for grades 4 through 8. Elsie and Frances were tired of being teased by their parents for their fairy stories, so they set out to create photographic evidence to back their tales up. They created the photos for fun using fairy paintings by Elsie, never meaning to fool the world. But little did they know what a sensation their photographs would make, and the impact they had on notable people at that time, including the author of the Sherlock Holmes series, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Every word means more than it says, according to Dave. And he knows because he could have been whipped or hung from the nearest tree for what he had done. Andrea Cheng tells the tale of Dave the Potter in her book, Etched in Clay, The Life of Dave, Enslaved Potter and Poet, a good read for grades 5 and up. The power of poetry was something that Dave understood and is a tool that Andrea Cheng uses to tell his story. It is a story of artistry, endurance, and rebellion. Dave was a slave in South Carolina who, despite laws forbidding it, learned to read and write. While working as a potter, he created beautiful pieces, which he would first sign, and then later inscribe with verse. Cheng uses some of this verse in her work, and offsets her tale with wood carvings to enhance the tale. There are many voices in this book, which allows for a greater look at both Dave and the time he lived. "A poem is a valuable thing," Dave said, and through this book Cheng tells the tale of a quiet rebel. Perhaps you want a break and you're craving a fiction book. Here are 2 books from the list that might interest you. Starting 2nd grade is a time of excitement and anxiety for Billy Miller in The Year of Billy Miller by Kevin Henkes, a great read for grades 1 through 4. Billy's first day is full of obstacles, from the new bossy girl who doesn't like him to his teacher thinking he's making fun of her. Will Billy survive? What if he starts to forget things? A slice-of-life novel which looks at the challenges surrounding the 4 significant figures in his life. The teacher, his stay-at-home struggling artist dad, his annoying but endearing 3-year-old sister, and his mother, with humor and not too much fuss and torment. School can be scary, but if you're looking for something really spooky, perhaps you might like Doll Bones by Holly Black, the author and co-creator of the Spiderwick Chronicles. Great for grades 4 through 6. Zach, Alice, and Poppy are 3 friends whose imaginary play has over time developed into an elaborate storyline centered on an old bone china doll that they have titled the Queen. As they enter middle school, Zach starts to feel the pressures around him to behave differently and leaves his imaginary play with Alice and Poppy behind him. Alice follows suit, leaving the adventures incomplete and Poppy feeling abandoned and alone. The Queen has always been a mystery, But then her real nature appears. She is really a girl named Eleanor. She died in 1895, and now she charges Poppy with a quest. Poppy appeals to Zack and Alice to go on one last adventure, the most important one, a real one that involves the Queen, her dark past, and a quest to return her to her family grave where she belongs. These are just a few books from some of the categories in CCBC Choices from the past couple years. Maybe you'll choose one and make them your next read. Enjoy!